So now you've come back now. Is it the same four that was in Beijing, or is the team totally changed?
No, it's completely different at the moment. You've got Pete and Andy in the pair at the moment, and I'm the only guy left over from Beijing. So it's nice. I mean, every boat's different. I'm in a different seat. The combination of guys around are different, and of course they've all got separate personalities. So this is the beauty about rowing, is that you're building your crew, you're sort of building your story, which will hopefully culminate in a win with something fantastic at the end of it. But this is the part of the journey. And it's nice, being in a different boat. Obviously, I love being in the boat in Beijing, and Andy and Pete are very good mates of mine. But it's just a separate boat. This is how rowing works, and you've got to build your crew as you go along with it.
But does it matter which order you row in? That you maybe row at the front, or you may row in the middle, or the back?
There's certainly, every seat has got a different sort of nuance. Yeah. I mean, if I just describe briefly, like R4, you've got the stroke seat where Alex Gregory sits. Typically, you want somebody who rows technically very well, but also who's consistent and robust, setting up a strong rhythm, which the rest of us will, compromise ourselves, because we know we've got to fit into that, we've got to follow it. But also, if you think you can do a better job than it's a bit frustrating sitting in something in a rhythm you don't like. So Alex is the best guy you could have at stroke. He rows very well, just very competent. He's one of the reasons the boat goes very quick. And so for me, sitting in a 3-seat, it's just very nice. I can just sit there. I'm a bit of a sort of workhorse mode of thought at the moment. I've just got to keep churning out the scores behind him, make sure I'm setting up the boat behind him, backing up the rhythm, and responding to any changes that Matt might call in the bow seat. So Matt, who's at the back of the boat, this is difficult to describe, the first guy across the line, as it were, going backwards. He makes some of the calls, he judges the race. His seat is perhaps a bit more reactive to how the crew are doing, make sure the boat's sort of set off the start. And ultimately sort of feeling what the rhythm the guys are doing in front, seeing what they're doing, and trying to sort of enhance that and hold it together.
I didn't notice that he's doing
Your Rick in the 2-seat is just this enormous unit. He's a massive guy, he's very strong. And actually, although he doesn't always sort of admit it, I mean, he's pretty technical and got a lot of feel for a very big guy. He's consistent, and that's what you need from big guys like that. If you've got someone who's great one day but then rubbish the next, if they're 110 or 15 kilos and they're out of time, you feel it. So it's just good fun at the moment. I think we're sitting in the right seats. Maybe we'll move things around again some other time, but at the moment it fits, and it fits well, and I think it looks good for the world, certainly in the future after that. But things change, people change, and maybe next year a different combination will be quicker. But at the moment, this is what's good.
So how many's in the squad then, Tom? It seems like you've got your 4 there, but is there substitutes? I guess is it the football team?
Yeah, you have reserves going into the Worlds. It's not ideal to change that late on. If someone does get ill, we do practice. For example, like I've been a little bit under the weather last week. I had someone else sub in, and we make sure that people are on the same page. And a lot of the season we train together, so we all know how each other rows. And there is a philosophy in the squad of how we want to move a boat. And that goes a long way to then when you get to World Championships and you do have to move people around, then there's a certain amount of confidence that we'll still be able to produce a good result. Yeah, you've got the 4, you've got the 8 and the pair, so that's 14 rows. And then the cocks obviously, but outside that, I mean, throughout the year you've got a number of trials, so you might have God knows how many people turn up to the trials, and we have to go through those trials obviously in the same process. It's part of the fairness what we have to do. But obviously within the squad, then you get invited to the squad, and that's a much smaller group who can sort of focus on what we do and progress to the World Championships. So we don't need anything larger than that. But throughout the year there'll be a larger group that come into the Worlds. That's what we're going to get heads down, and we'll have those 14 guys and then a few reserves outside who will be there on the team and stand by.
I want to go back to Beijing, because obviously that's a special moment in your life. And, how did things change for you after that?
Well, getting a gold medal, you don't ever realise what it is. It doesn't ever sink in. I've got this very nice shiny gold medal at home, but it's mine. It means I'm a gold medalist. But you don't ever identify that with what you used to think a gold medalist was. You see all the gold medalists, wow, they're amazing. These people, wow, amazing what they did, and then then you do it, then it seems a bit anticlimax, you know. But it's very nice in that you know, something that no one's ever going to take away from you. You're going to be a gold medalist to the day I die now, and that's a very there's something, you know, that can help, you know, always boost your ego a little bit on a bad day. But
pull out the medal.
Pull out the medal, yeah. And you know, that's something that is really nice. And obviously, people treat you very differently because of that. You know, it's, I think with sport, because you get that first, second, and third, that gold medal, you know, it's quite easy to identify sort of, you know, where you stand, as it were. People identify obviously very easily with a gold medal. So it's not like in a workplace, you know, you might be the best lawyer in the world, but no one's ever going to know you're the best lawyer. You know what I mean? I don't know, whatever profession you pick. So it's nice to have that sort of easy identification and people recognise that. It's nice to have that, but I don't feel any different. Particularly, I feel a bit more confident going to races. I feel happy with what, I think because of the experience, I feel more experienced going to racing. I know what I want from racing. I know how I want to win. I know that I'm in a position where I should win, or be in a position where I, you know, very competitive at least, and that goes a long way to hopefully getting another gold medal.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If anything, it must give you confidence in the boat, you know, and especially next year being our home Olympics, you know, knowing that you're an Olympic champion, for you that must be, you know, to go out there next season, next year, and actually defend your title in front of your home crowd. Yeah,
you make me a little nervous actually. It is. It's going to be absolutely amazing. But I don't really want to think about it. I think at the moment we're just starting to realise. I mean, well, the last year it's gradually been building, but now, because we've got a year to go, it's sort of starting to really hit home. You see the stadium, which is always complete. You see all the facilities. You know, we're on schedule for an absolutely fantastic games. And I think the big difference in Beijing, it was just a little bubble. You had your family and friends, a lot of Chinese people out there who were watching the race, and obviously the media, but you know, it was just like I was at another regatta somewhere, but obviously it was the Olympics. But my family and friends were there, and in that exactly the same way it would be to any other World Championships or regatta. It's going to be so different. I'm going to be there with God knows how many million British people all cheering you on. Some of them will know who I am, what the for. There'll be a certain expectation of the GB Copters for winning. There'll be all my mates, my university mates, all the rowing people I've been rowing with over the last 15 years, guys from school, other foreigners or people I've met throughout my life.
You're making me nervous now.
Exactly. It's going to be, if you let it get to you, it's going to be overwhelming. And I think the key is to somehow treat it as a normal race, because the way to win the Olympic final is exactly the same way I've won any other race when I was 13, 14 years old. It's no different. Got to row better and be stronger than everyone else. So from that point of view, there's no reason to let it get to, you know, you've got to not blank it out, but you've just got to, I think, just ride with it, just go with it and enjoy it. And if, you know, if the worst does come in and we don't win, then I hope it doesn't upset my experience. I think it'll be an amazing Olympics. You know, I know people say, you know, it's the taking part that counts, and I do like that idea, but I know it's quite hard to agree with that if you're on the podium and you get silver. But yeah, regardless, it's going to be an amazing Olympics, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it.